Good evening and welcome to Ubuntu Channel's headlines of the week or stories of the week. And this is actually called Point of View, where you are given a chance to actually view out your point of view concerning the stories of the week or the news of the week. Good evening, and we are delighted to having you. Lance, how are you doing?
I am doing fine, Chaza. Good evening to you and good evening to the viewers.
Brilliant. We'll go straight into the story of the week. That is actually the first one that we are having. And on the other side, we get to analyze it. And doing much of the analysis, we have Lance and other people that will be joining us right on the set, live on the program.
Fear has once again gripped Paradise area in Lusaka's Ilanda compound. In the early hours of Monday, a criminal gang murdered 16-year-old Gift Mukelabai. This was as Gift was coming back from a funeral house within the neighborhood. Findings at the crime scene are testimony of what happened to Gift.
So ujamene ba afyanta munzake ndiye pamene ba mugwira na kukamba uti ndine soja ndise ba C5 lero wazipeza siyapata kupaya ukanga kuyenda ninchi bamupaya munzake linso yachoka so
nadabwatsa be sister wanga number 4 pali ine nobwera.
Fear has once again gripped Paradise area in Lusaka's Ilanda compound. In the early hours of Monday, a criminal gang murdered 16-year-old Gift Mukelabai. This was as Gift was coming back from a funeral house within the neighborhood. The findings at the crime scene are testimony of what happened to Gift.
so ujamene ba afyanta munzake ndiye pamene ba mugwira na kukamba uti ndine soja ndise ba C5 lero wazipeza siyapata kupaya ukanga kuyenda ninchi bamupaya munzake linso yachoka so
nadabwatsa be sister wanga number 4 pali ine nobwera nikonkonshera ba sister ti ateke Gift balikoko nadibatsina mvere cheni kulira ata mvera ni Gift wa Gift wa mupaya.
Meanwhile, one of the suspects was apprehended by some angry mob who meted out some instant justice. What happened to one of the suspects has now brought threats to the community.
Ndio inango achoka amea chekumendera kanzimi ndepenzi yazizira hapa muntu. Angara watu wamutumira bakapokora. Ndepenzi wabwera baona abanyamura ndemwe wenze baendera.
So ezwapita pandana paya mzatu abwapa sonjerapo ambakulira pano chokera kubaenda uku babo tenga vimyala banda pa pompi pa jamani kwambo chama bucket kwambo temate mavimyala pa madopa bantu so chibwela china wazimonse mzabwela muone benzela mapanga na mafoshoro na mitengo.
Kapwepe wat 29 Councillor Patrick Saluvusa is saddened with this state of affairs.
For us to respond to the issue of junkies, we need all the stakeholders to come together, parents, guardians, the police, the civil society. I think everyone has to come on board. Look at what has happened in Paradise compound today. It's a sad story.
Police Deputy Public Relations Officer Danny Mwale has confirmed receiving the report of this incident. Police have since launched investigations in this case. Lucky Piri, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
That is a story coming from Lilanda's Paradise or Lilanda actually compound in Lusaka, which saw the demise of a young man, or rather a boy. Lance, what is your reaction to this story?
Thank you so much, Chaza. This makes a sad hearing, Chaza, to know that a 16-year-old old's life was taken by people that actually have no regard for life, people that have no regard for anything out there in the society. It also makes a sad reading because I think that was on Wednesday when I was talking to one councillor of Ngwerere Ward 22, that is Adrian Banda, over the same issue because I received reports to say that junkies have actually terrorizing that area and that place. So I talked to the councillor on seeing to or on trying to find out what really is the problem. Why is it that the compound or that settlement has so many junkies and um, they show no remorse, no regard, and it seems like councillors or people or men in uniform are not doing anything. And the councillor was on point to say that actually he, together with the police, are trying so hard to see to it that this issue of junkies gets to be a thing of the past. But what his main appeal was to the parents, to the guardians that keep these people, because he said these kids are coming from homes, are coming from houses. So therefore, it is supposed to be the priority, or it's supposed to be the duty of the parent to take care of their child, to look into the affairs of their children. When their child seems to be misbehaving or behaving in a certain funny way, it's the responsibility of the family to make sure that they shape this child in the right way and put them in the right direction. So with him, he says junkies are there because parents have failed to give parental guidance to their children. So, how do we end this issue? How do we end this thing? How do we end junkies in taking life or doing whatever activities that they decide to do? It needs all stakeholders to get involved, but most of all, it must start on a household level. Parents must take charge of their children. Parents must know what their children are about, where they are, what they are doing, and take full responsibility of their well-being. Because if parents do not look into the affairs of their children, this is where we are seeing, them having an excuse of getting involved in such atrocities. Otherwise, this is a sad state of affairs, Chaza.
Thank you so much, Lance. I can see we also have Himba who has joined us right here on the set. Himba, what is your reaction to the story that we have at hand?
Good evening, Chaza, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to air my opinion. And good evening, viewers, wherever you're listening us from. Chaza, for me, I've got a different view. These young people in the compounds, it's not a today's situation. You know, we are seeing them grow in our compounds. Let me give a situation here. We pass in the streets, in the road, in the city centers. Timakamba, my street kids. Lelo tibaitana my street kids. What are they going to be tomorrow? Are you getting where I'm coming from? So when we are calling bakalibana enibana, tibalekelela bakula, and you know, for a human being or for a child to be on the street, then a lot of things has happened in their lives. They've lost their conscience, they've lost their self-esteem, they've lost their integrity, you know. They've got no fear. They can do anything. That's why my pesa nikamfana pa street mumvere dictionary ama insult yacho samfana, you'll be shocked. You hear your mzaka bafana ndiye bana raping, bafana ndiye bana chita. So this situation it's rooted, and as the councillor said, we need a holistic approach where every stakeholder is involved. It has to start from somewhere, and we have to go deeper to the causa. These children wakakula ndiye bambo nkala machani ndiye bavuta ndiye bambo terrorize the community like what we are seeing. These are the kids. Some they are not coming from homes. They are streets. They are kids who born on the street. They've grown up on the street, and that is their home. And some of these kids are these even the kids which were even embraced in the previous regime. They were kept busy. Now they don't have anything to do. What are they doing? They are terrorizing the community. So we are appealing to the government through the social welfare and other stakeholders to unite together and fight. This is everyone's problem. When these kids are everyone's child, they need to be embraced. This is not only a situation where we're going to this is a problem for everyone. And if we don't come together as stakeholders and join hands together to fight this will be a situation that will not be able to handle. At this moment, we are appealing to every leader, spiritual leader, traditional leaders, political leaders to come in. And these kids, they should find something. The government should find something for these children to do. They should find something for them to do, especially the children who are out of school. Because most of the times we concentrate on those children who are already in institutions. What about those who are not institutions? What happens to them? I rest my case.
All right, thank you so much, Himba, for your viewpoint. Good evening, Lawrence, and good evening, Ruben.
Good evening, Chaza.
It's great to have you. I've seen you, I've acknowledged you, and I will actually spare you for the next story that we are getting into.
Sure, no problem.
All right, I'll ask the director to take us to the next story, as I will be inviting Lawrence and Ruben to actually give us their viewpoints.
As the Drug Enforcement Commission, we are very elated by the conviction by the subordinate court in Copperbelt of former Postmaster General Mr. McPherson Chanda. We had been investigating that case, and we arrested him and took him to the court. And this is one of those cases that proves that actually the fast track court is working, because the case has been disposed of in a very short period of time, of which we are saying that for us it is justice served, because within a short period of time, both the state and the accused person were able to know the determination of the court in that particular case. And so, as a commission, would like to warn all perpetrators of corruption and things related to such issues that the long arm of the law will definitely catch up with you, as you will not escape it. We further wish to announce that the commission has arrested 8 people. There are 3 Zambians and 5 Nigerians that have been arrested in Lusaka. These people came together, they formed various companies. These companies, they even went ahead to open bank accounts. In these bank accounts, they started receiving funds from unknown sources. And these are suspected proceeds of crime, huge sums of monies that were being received. You have in the total amounts that were received, you have more than $4.3 million that was received in these accounts. You have more than 37,000 British pounds, more than 30,000 euros that were received. And these monies were being channeled to outside the country. And as a country, we would like to warn such people that want to come in the name of investors and think that they can use Zambia as a conduit for them to do certain things. Would like to warn such people that in Zambia we've got laws that fight against money laundering and will be able to catch up with you. So the 8 people have been arrested, they've been given police bond, and they will appear in court soon.
Right, that was a statement coming from Dick, and it has been followed by a resounding warning to the perpetrators of such acts. I can see Lawrence moving there, ready to actually unleash his viewpoint. Lawrence, Bring it on.
All right, thanks, Chaza. Thanks, and good evening to the viewers. Okay, this story for me has got two sides to this coin. First and foremost, I think it's commendable that for at least now we are seeing cases of corruption coming to the conclusion that we all want to see. For that, I think we are happy. But the jail sentence of 2 years for looking at the amount of money in question, I think for me doesn't add up. Honestly speaking, I think every other Zambian out there would be willing to save a 2-year jail sentence and have that amount of money afterwards. I think every other person would be willing. We are creating a situation where we are glorifying these kind of issues. I think we look at the implications of the money that was misappropriated. We are looking at vulnerable and elderly people who are denied their social cash transfer in this case, and then you only get 1 or 2. 2 years. For me, that is very lenient, and what we are doing right now is actually encouraging more people to do this, because I think 2 years, and every other person would take the 2 years and go away with 3.5 million. I think that's my take.
Thank you so much there. We greatly appreciate. What about you, Ruben? What is your viewpoint on this issue?
Thank you very much, and good evening to our viewers. This is a very good and bad news, just like Lawrence has elaborated. Yes, it's good that we've seen corruption cases now at least going to court, and there is a conviction. Yes, Lawrence is not happy with the 2 years. I'm also not happy with the 2 years. However, in that same judgment, I need to put it on record that the magistrate actually instructed the Attorney General that they should recover the 300 million from the people that the former postmaster general. So also the latest on this same case, Chaza, just to bring it on board, is that I'm told the people that have appealed to the High Court, and I hope if they are guilty, these guys, I hope the High Court won't maintain the 2 years. Hope they will increase it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. We also do have Himba and Lance. Between them, is there anyone with a reaction to this particular story before we quickly get to another story?
Yes, Chaza. Sometimes I tend to wonder why laws are made in this way. I share everyone's sentiments and displeasure in the 2 years. Chaza, in the same this week, we had a judgment in Chipata, in the Chipata local court, where a man who stole a suit, another suit, panampasa 3 years with hard labor. Suit it costs how much? It costs less than 1,500. Niya jama suti yetenzo gulama 250. Nge bana mangira 3 years. Yes, 250. When manga 3 years with hard labor. Somebody steals 300 million, and then when manga 2 years. Guys, why do we have such laws that have eyes on the or on people that seem to be doing fine in society, and on the poor? Iribe menso, iribe matu. They say the law is blind. So is it only blind to the poor, and it's got eyes to people that are rich? So I think for me, I would say this should tell us that let's push for law reforms so that we can see criminals getting the much needed jail time for them to reform, if they would ever reform. I submit.
Thank you so much. Himba, quickly, under a minute, what's your viewpoint?
Chaza, as everyone has already alluded, believe me, I'm also in the same line. There's no way a person who stole our life, stole our future, education, economy, these people who steal from the public funds, they are stealing for they are stealing from everyone. And then waenda vampasaka 2 years. 2 years azaenda elo akafika na 2 years umumwamene ndrama zijazinangwa kalinazo, you'll be able to live a luxurious life mujama sales, then achoka foot and continue to spend that money. It's literally unfair. Anyway, on the other hand, we are saying bravo to the government and the legal system. At least tionako vintu vambochitika baba mangako pang'ono but bachiteko abankuku abasuit up. You are going to find that these people who steal from public fund, they steal, most of them, it's greediness. But abakuta namba kona suit unapeza tikapena enze na njala kunyumba enzo enda there's even if there's a sin which can be justified bangashiteko justified, but these criminals, these people steal, white collar thieves, they are just greedy, selfish, inhuman, and then I end up saving at 2 years. Baboma matianganepo. I submit.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Himba. We do greatly appreciate. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we are still right here on Ubuntu channel. We are live on Point of View. We give you a chance to actually add your voice to the stories and news of the week. We make progression and get to the next story. And on the other side, we continue with the analysis.
Mlongochi International Conference Center at Kids, where the summit is going to be held, where they were interviewed to say it will be the business boost for them. So it was even very important for the vendors to do their businesses, because most of those people are coming from abroad. They need to come and see how we, the people in the informal sector, are pushing the economy and making sure that they can see how we have survived from what we are doing. By the way, the government cannot employ each and
Right on. We'll actually invite Lance to actually take up, the first reaction to this story.
Chaza, this is a story of interest. I would tell you, this is a story that I have witnessed different reactions from different people. Now, I would be proud also to report to this team that I think my works are finally paying off. I started the campaign of, cleaning Lusaka. These booths must have proper destinations. They should have a place where they should trade from. Not paliponse pewa pita palibooth. Paliponse palasti yatonochingiriza na the main shops. Okay. Before the previous director for public health, Lusaka Council, was shifted to Kabwe, I started this chat on radio to ask him, why is it that we love deadening the city and then we say no, we leave it like it's a status quo, or because there's a certain person out there that seems to be, to be bigger than anyone else. I did the radio campaign on let's clean Lusaka. How do we clean Lusaka? Mobile money booths must have a particular trading area where if one wants to transact in mobile money, they know that I need to go to this street and this is where I will find them. Also went further to express my concern on the AU summit. If these more than 53 heads of states or delegations that are coming into Zambia, they want to take a stroll in the CBD, and what picture will they carry about Zambia, especially looking at Lusaka as the capital city? Will they say Lusaka is a clean city or a dirty city? So to blanket it all, this is a good move that Lusaka City Council has taken. The only challenge that I have for them is that after the AU summit, we shouldn't see mobile money booths again being erected in the same places that they have been putted out. Chaza. You know, these booths yesterday were removed yapa ShopRite. Lero sen for some of us that get into town in the morning, you would be disappointed with what you found. Muntu mukabuthi keka janaika na kabaketi ndiye muli toilet. That's why ndiye mwachitira vonse. And you are saying that you have a clean city. So this is a good move. Booths are supposed to be put in a designated place. Kulibati no veva bwera panja babwere baone the other kind of trade ya Zambia, whatever, even non-star time. Booths must go.
Okay, thank you so much, Lance. We do appreciate your viewpoint. I can see Lawrence moving there as a sign of unleashing his viewpoint also. What do you say, Lawrence, on this issue?
I want to appreciate the viewpoint from Lance, but let us also realize that there is another view on the other hand, which is actually the economic point of view. In this regard, I mean, we are looking at high unemployment rates, which have led to people finding various ways of at least earning a living, and operating mobile money booths is one of them. So let us not write away that fact. But I also have had concerns regarding to these same booths. Because I appreciate the fact that people need to find something to do, and we commend all the youths out there who took this opportunity to operate and run these booths in order to sustain themselves. It was something that we commend, and personally, I think I encourage. But the problem with me is actually Lusaka City Council, and Lusaka City Council has seen these booths coming up over the years. I think mobile money started somewhere 2011 and the like. The number has been increasing and increasing and increasing and increasing, and the council has been quiet. So one has to ask, why now that we are having visitors, we think of now demolishing these things? Is it that we are just trying to make face for the sake of the visitors coming, or meanwhile we have tolerated this and it's our way of life? Cleanliness is not something you practice when there are visitors. No, cleanliness should be a way of life, and Lusaka City Council has subjected us to that condition over the years. And today they wake up to say no, because there is an AU summit and then we have to clean up the city. I think, to me, that doesn't make sense. Lusaka City Council must do their job and must assign and plan the city well. Know where we can place booths, know where we cannot place booths, and let all these booth operators operate according to the guidelines given by Lusaka City Council. Because I would also want to let my colleague Lance to know that these same booths that were being brought down have been paying council levies all along, and council has been collecting them. So why is it bad today? That is where I have a problem myself. I submit.
Thank you so much. And the question is, has the council really designated an alternative place for these service providers? Would like to know. As for now, I'll spare you, Ruben and Himba, as we get to the next story. You will actually be the ones to first react to them. Let's move on to the next story. I don't know, it appears we are still waiting for our director to take us to the next story. But as we are waiting, I'll give you Ruben to take it up as we are waiting for the director to take us to the next story.
Right. Thank you very much, Chaza. It's an unfortunate situation there to the people that have lost the booth. The reason being that they were not warned that this is going to take place. Yes, they're called illegal booths, but like Lawrence said, they've been paying council levy to the council, and I've gotten the receipts, and I've got the stickers that these are people that are paying a levy to the council. So the time when they made the decision that they want to demolish these booths, why did they not notify the business owners of the decision that have made? Then tomorrow you want to go and operate, you find your booth C depot, which is very unfair and inconveniencing to them. And again, why do we have these booths not well arranged? It's the issue of cadres. I remember at one point I wanted to open a booth in town, and I was told by the cadres that you need to pay 5,000 and you can place your booth palipo nze pe uzaifunira. It's a fakira. You know, such scenario. They had the power to do whatever they want in town. Okay, and now that council has decided to bring them down, let's see some order and let's see sanity in the city beyond this AU summit. Not when the AU summit stops or finishes, then we go back to our usual dirtiness. This has also happened. Remember the time when you had COVID, was it 2016, 2017, somewhere there? There was cleanness in town. I remember the president then, Edgar Chagwalungu, ordered that the defense forces help in cleaning the city. And there was sanity in town. But 2-3 months after that, when the numbers of cholera reduced, what happened was that everything went back to default settings. We had booths everywhere. We had the litter being thrown anywhere, blocked drainages, and all that. So I hope the cleanness and the sanity which we are seeing now in town will continue after the AU summit. I submit, Chaza.
All right, thank you so much, Director. If we do have the next story, please take us to the next story.
When we work together, we are going to be able to achieve. And that is also what pushed us to be able to host Fighting Inequality Alliance Zambia. Now, like Peter was saying, all of the monies that are supposed to go to the social movement, you know, coming from Oxfam, from Action Aid, from their global partners, comes into FDI accounts and they account for that money. We are the ones, you know, we are the ones that are audited. You know, the contracts, we are the ones that do the contracts. The systems, you know, for them to be able to function, you know, they use our systems because they are not a legal entity. And that for us is a milestone because then it indicates, you know, the trust and the confidence that people have in our organization. But that has been as a result of our understanding that as FDI we can't achieve, you know, alone. And so even when we classify ourselves as an organization that is oriented by Islamic teachings, again you see that one of our main collaborators is the Council of Churches in Zambia. You see that one of our main, you know, supporters is Norwegian Church Aid and Dan Church Aid. And so you see some Islamic organization, Dan Church Aid, because for us, we have a broader view of development. You know, we believe that in order for us to help that Zambian family, we can only...
Right on. This is Ubuntu channel, and we are delighted that you are still with us right here, and we are making our views on the stories and news of the week. I will actually, I've seen Chipindani there joining us. Welcome to the show tonight. I don't know. It appears he hasn't heard me or something. On the story that we have at hand, we invite. Yes, Chipindani.
Yes, thank you very much, Chaza. Good evening and good evening, everyone.
Good evening, thank you, and you are most welcome right here. Lance, I will invite you to take up, the first reaction on this story that we have that was talking about, sponsorship of this and that as regards, organizations that have been around and seemingly being demeaned.
Thank you so much, Chaza, and good evening, Chipindani. Chaza, it's very important for non-governmental organizations or civil society organizations that are like-minded but were formed on different stages or were formed in different years to come together and probably get to act together and follow the same ideology that they have or that they are trying to champion. Chaza, it's very illogical to have so many governance expert NGOs that have the same ideologies, that have the same workforce, that have the same mission, yet they are divided and act as if they all believe in different ideologies of governance. It's high time that we have these NGOs that are like-minded to come together, link up together, because even their funding is coming from the same people. It doesn't matter whether you are a faith-based organization. It doesn't matter whether you are an NGO that is not of a faith-based NGO. But as long as you have the same ideologies, as long as you are trying to push the same agenda, it's very important for these NGOs to always come together and push that same agenda together. Unlike having the registrar of societies, being having so many names of NGOs, that have the same ideas, disband these others or deregister these others and come together and form one. But again, Chaza, that is practically impossible, because even these leaders that lead these same NGOs, these are leaders that are very selfish, that are greedy, and they feel like they are the only ones that can be at the leading helm. Therefore, we have NGOs that have the same ideologies but with different leaders, because they want to eat money, because they want to do this, because they want to do that. So these NGOs must always come together. These NGOs, let's disband them and have them into one, because they have the same ideology and ideas. I submit, Charles.
Thank you so much. This reminds me of the teacher unions in Zambia. We have so many teacher unions in Zambia, and at some point they said they were actually going to, merge and the like. But, leadership is sweet, and also money is sweet. So really, there's practically an impossibility to such issues. I don't know if, Lawrence, we are now in sync as regards the story at hand.
Not at all.
I can see you are shaking your head. I will actually let this story pass. Chipindani, do you have your reaction to this? Chipindani happens to be on mute. Let's proceed to the next story, and we get to react to it on the other side.
Okay.
Ladies are very special.
Okay, Celestine, also from BBC. I want to also ask a clarification on Women's Champions League. We haven't had anything, if there's any plans for prize money or what plans you have there.
Very important.
And then another question would be something that happened in this competition. We saw Barbara Banda being ruled out because of gender eligibility issues. How is it that she could play in the Olympics and now she can play at this tournament?
Okay, they'll advise me on that because we went to bed. I went to bed 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had to be up very early for various other issues. And but the first issues, as much as we are increasing or have increased the prize money for the women's AFCON, we are looking at all of those competitions in terms of increasing the prize money there as well. And now you were talking about, Veron, this lady where there's a problem of eligibility. You want to respond to that?
Yes, sir, the lady. Celestine, I think what we'll do is that we will advise you on your question in this. And I mean, we had checked with our medical committee. I know you have asked this question before. And according to our medical committee, there is no such decision from them, from the CAF medical committee. So I just thank you, President.
All right, this is one of the stories that have, made a lot of noise during this week, and it's no alien at all. I would like to invite you, Himba, to take up, this one as the first reaction.
If ever bola kan. You know what?
Especially that you are a lady, you know.
Exactly, Chaza. One, I'm so happy that we are doing it. Ramuna Patalasa Toterani, just be happy and support us. We've done it. Thank you. And it's this story for me. Even commenting on it, really, Chaza, I wouldn't have really tangible comment on it because it really doesn't make sense. Because this tournament, Sinabwele, like it has just come like boom. Our football association didn't know about it. There are preparations that are done. So during all this preparation, because they knew that during this period we are going to have this tournament, and there are a lot of things that are taking place. So in all these processions, there's no point where they were able to pick up this and correct this issue until we are in the tournament. No, Barbara. It's not adding up for me. Literally, it's not adding up. Where is the problem? Because now even the officials can't comment on it. So what are they telling us? So no, we'll come back to you. The journalist has asked the question, all we needed is clarity, and they're saying no, we'll come back to. Up to now, they don't have a tangible answer to give to the supporters. For me, it's not really making sense. I think we need fuzz. We need our president for Football Association to come and address us and tell us, especially if it was Mai, who are doing very well to put our flag. We need to know. And above all, Barbara is being disturbed psychologically because there are a lot of negative comments that are coming in. There are a lot of names that what she's being called when she's done a lot for our country. I mean, the girls, they're even disturbing the girls. Look the way they are playing. They're playing very well, brilliant. But they need their captain there. She's part of that piece that is missing. She's part of the network they need. So can Faz come and tell us?
All right, thank you so much, Himba. I'll invite now, the pioneers, on Ubuntu channel as regards sports, because they even understand, this story, better than some of us, and they'll actually react even better. Let me start with you, Ruben, followed by Lawrence.
All right. Thank you very much, Chaza. So let's build the facts from this issue. So in each tournament, Chaza, there are guidelines that each player should satisfy for them to play in each tournament. So CAF circulated the guidelines. Unfortunately, these guidelines, they were discriminatory in nature because according to CAF, if you jump a certain level of the hormone testosterone, then they regard you as a man. Unfortunately, I just want to now to bring out the facts which Faz has been trying by all means so that the players are not disturbed, and they've been fighting in the background. So according to the levels of some of the ladies that we have in the national team, they were higher than the required or the recommended. Okay, So that's the reason why Kundananji, Rachel Nachula, and Barbara Banda were left out of the team. So is what went wrong here? CAF in its guidelines brought out something that would discriminate some of the players. Was it Zambia that was affected? No. I've got a list of players that were affected from other nations. One of the players is from Nigeria, was also affected from this by this same guideline. Okay. Did it take long for FAS to fight this? No. The battle has been going on in the background, and FAS had confidence that by the time the tournament will start, this is going to be normalized. The reason why they had included Barbara Banda into the squad that went to Morocco, and as we speak now, Barbara Banda is in Morocco. Okay. What made it now to become public was that people still requested why Barbara Banda was not playing. And the way it is, unfortunately, Chaza, you can't jump protocol in football. You have to first conclude with CAF before you go to FIFA. And FAS tried by all means until they reached the conclusion when they were told Barbara Banda can't play in this tournament. That's how they went to FIFA to cry foul and say, look, we've been discriminated here. Unfortunately, by the time they were doing so, the tournament had already started. And it's unfortunate, however, that we've got players that have been discriminated by CAF not to participate in this tournament. Meanwhile, when they qualify to the World Cup, the same players that have not played in the build-up, they're going to qualify and play they'll be eligible and play in the World Cup. I submit.
Right, thank you so much. We do appreciate your explanation there and in depth to the story. Lawrence, your viewpoint.
My viewpoint actually is simple. I feel we have heard from CAF in the video played saying that they do not have such a decision from their medical team, and they are justified in that point because unfortunately the technicalities that knocked our players out were done via the guidelines. The names of Rachel Kundananji, Rachel Nachula, and Barbara Banda were never submitted on the final list by FAS to CAF as players they want to participate. But FAS took a decision based on the guidelines that were given to them and excluded them from the final list because they did not qualify according to FAS. But CAF comes out and says, no, we did not make such a decision. Also, they are right. But for me, the point of contention is the letter. I think I made mention yesterday when we had the sports segment yesterday on Ubuntu. For those who watched, they heard me mention this, that the letter which FAS was writing to CAF suggested that they realized that the guidelines were discriminatory after having a relook at the guidelines. It means that the first time they got the letter, they took it as it was okay. And then after public outcry, they realized that it was discriminatory. And now it's kind of too late as things stand. I've seen fake news circulating that Barbara Banda and others have been allowed by FIFA to participate in this tournament. I think we should make mention and clarify that as a hoax. It's not true. FIFA is yet to comment on the matter, and as things stand, we are still at a standpoint with CAF and await for a response from FIFA, which may come in due course. And until then, the girls in question do not qualify to participate in the tournament, and we should just continue supporting the girls that are already representing this country and hope that they do that to the very best of their ability. That's all we can say about this issue as of now.
All right, thank you so much. And time is not actually our best ally. We've got to wrap up. As we do get to wrap up, I would like to hear from Lance and Chipindani. Each one of you under a minute. Lance. It appears he's not there. Chipindani, anything you have under a minute as we get to wrap up? It looks like the two gentlemen are in hibernation.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Chipindani, yes, please go ahead and
Hello.
get to give us your viewpoint as we conclude under a minute.
Okay, yes. So on the issue of FAS and CAF, it's an ongoing debate in the public domain. But the question is, did FAS adequately engage to the satisfaction of the Zambian people? And also the questions that are coming in is that from the explanation that has been given by my colleague, saying that the FAS followed the guidelines. My question is that did FAS adequately engage CAF in order to have the two of our best players included in the team? And also there's a perception out there, so it would be only fair for FAS to come out and give answers to the public as to why the events have turned out the way they have. It's not enough for them to just say, no, we made the decision based on the guidelines that were given. The public needs more answers. They want more answers. They want to know what really transpired. Did they engage CAF before even engaging FIFA? What happened? Was the due process followed? What was the response from CAF? So those are the questions that are being asked. And I think that's what the public would really want to know. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And it appears we have lost Lance due to connectivity there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ubuntu channel, and you've been watching
This has been this week's edition of My Viewpoint. And closing in on behalf of Lance and Chaza, this is Lawrence and signing out. See you next week, same time and same place. Thank you so much for joining.